Hi.
That wasn't even planned.
It wasn't. Hello. Welcome to another PS episode of Mari Loses Her Shit. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's a new series we're starting. This is a PS episode in addition, or like part of, not addition. I don't know why I said that. You know what I also realized too? This is my third caffeinated drink of the day. I completely forgot I went to Starbucks.
I mean, I had pre-workout and 2 energy drinks, so I'm right there with you. It's fine.
I went to the bathroom and I was like, Mari, that's you also forgot you went to Starbucks and had venti coffee. And I was like, oh. Anyways, I just had to say that because it was in my head and I wouldn't have been able to continue unless I put it out there. So this is a continuation of us talking about different DBT skills that you can use. The first skill that we talked about, Dear Man, 5-finger communication, was not necessarily a coping skill, but more so a skill that you can use to have effective conversations with people and communicate your needs, points, and or set boundaries. This skill that we're going to talk about is under a different umbrella of DBT. So this is under the crisis survival skills or the distress tolerance umbrella. It could be both depending on like where you are. So we're going to talk about the TIPP skill today. So DBT loves acronyms like we've talked about. The TIPP skill is TIPP and everything stands for something.
Correct.
So start us off, Stephanie.
So the T is to tip the temperature of your face, and that's with cold water. I know that like tipping the temperature can mean hot too, but in this case, it means cold. Here's why. There's science behind this, guys. And if it sounds like I'm reading out of a book, it's because I am. Okay. I'm just going to be real honest about that because I haven't memorized this. I knew this, but this is very eloquently put. So when Mari and I did the DBT certification, this is the first time I learned about why the TIPP skill was so good as far as tipping the temperature. What they tell you to do is fill a bowl full of ice cold water and to submerge your face into the water, right? Sounds terrible. Sounds awful. Sounds like it's going to shock you really badly, right? But that's the point, right? It's like shocking you out of the situation. But here's the scientific part behind it. So when you put your full face into cold water or put a Ziploc bag full of cold water over your eyes or your cheeks and hold your breath, it tells your brain that you're diving underwater. Okay. What happens when you dive underwater? You get what's called the dive response. It could take 15 to 30 seconds for it to kick in. But what happens is your heart rate slows down, AKA you're calming down because the physiological aspect of your body that's heightened is forced to slow down. Blood flow to non-essential organs is reduced and blood flow is redirected to the brain and heart, right? So the parts that you're trying to get kind of control of and calm down, blood is going to flow directly to those things. This response can help regulate your emotions. So it says this will be useful as a distress tolerance strategy when you're having a very strong, distressing emotion, or when you're having very strong urges to engage in dangerous behaviors, AKA self-harm. When I teach this skill to people, I will tell them, if you don't have the ability to just fucking stick your face in a bowl of water, grab 2 ice cubes. I know it doesn't do the same thing, but if you can hold on to ice cubes, that's also something that's tipping the temperature, right? And that has helped people like deter themselves from self-harming. But if you are able to stick your face in a bowl of cold water, that's going to be your go-to. That's going to be the way to go. So if you're at home and you can, definitely try that.
Yes. Also, what I would like to just potentially highlight is while tipping the temperature, yes, you could go either way. I highly, highly, highly suggest and recommend that you go the cold route versus the hot route. So what happens when you are in a panic situation? Your adrenaline is going, and when your adrenaline is released, it is priming your muscles to be able to react because your body is thinking that it needs to go into the limbic system fires on and thinks that you need a fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, right? But the adrenaline that's being released is priming your muscles, and heat is basically what's being sent to your muscles to loosen them up to get you out of the situation. Being hot is just going to expedite that process.
Yes.
So realistically, I would love for you to stick with the cold. So I have had a lot of clients come in and say, well, my last therapist just told me to put my face in a bowl of cold water, which while I understand if that's the only sentence you're given, you could be like, no, I'm not doing right? Like I could understand that. However, understanding the science behind it, like the
Mhm.
physical response behind it is huge. Also, talking about your parasympathetic nervous system, your vagus nerve
Mhm.
is running across your body. Anything to stimulate that and help calm that down. Breathing does wonders for that, but then
Mhm.
also anything cool on your neck or in this area is also going to help bring your body back to center, back to homeostasis.
That's why
So
you see everybody doing ice baths nowadays, you guys.
So good for you for a
Mhm.
multitude of reasons, not
Sure.
just for the mental health aspect, really for physical aspect, super huge. I tried to do it for like a week in my shower and it's just it's pretty awful.
It's a
It's
no
pretty
for me
awful.
currently.
It's
So
I'm trying my best, but it's also the rate at which I need to shave my legs because it's just you're cold all the time. I'm just constant state of goosebumps. Like it's really not working out for me. So I've kind of backed off. Anyways, so the I in the TIPP skill stands for intense exercise. Intense exercise is creating this exposure to your physical reaction where when you're having like a panic attack and or in this like heightened state of fear or arousal, right? So you're creating this this baseline and teaching your body that you're able to handle when you get to this level, like this intense breathing or this, rapid heart rate. So your brain is starting to understand like, okay, I can get to this point and come back down. I can get to this point and come back down. It's just this repeated exposure. So they tell you to do things like for intense exercise, like jumping jacks for 30 seconds and then stop, or, squat jumps for 30 seconds and stop, going, running up and down stairs and then stop. So if you physically can do this, amazing. If you can't, please choose one of the other options. It's not like intense exercise is one that you have to do, but if you
correct.
can do it, please, please, please try it out. It builds that exposure to this heart rate and this intense breathing. But then also just too has physical effects. Like you working out, whether your brain is perceiving it as that or not, you are having a physical, interaction or
Mhm.
action. So you working out then is releasing dopamine and serotonin and all of those endorphins. So that, I mean, it's just feel good in general. So you're
Mhm.
already releasing some of those chemicals to be able to help you come out of this.